Good morning. Happy Saturday. Um, well, this is my day, and this is when I have to get this out to be open, not only for myself, but to be able to say it out loud, um, and and to really get this Isaiah initiative that I do think is so very, very important going, and to honor my son, and to honor those of us that went through, go through, don't know what to do, to help our kids. Um, whatever your opinion is of me after this, that's all right. Um, I've always said I need to do, what's right. So when I lay my head down at night, I'm okay with stuff. So I'm going to give you a little bit of background about Isaiah and then share with you what I was told about Isaiah's last night here on earth. Isaiah was a 10-pound child when he was born. 10. Not a C-section. But that kid had such a spirit, and he definitely knew how to push his brother and sister's buttons. Always smiling, always laughing, always just being a little stinker. He always had that little sparkle in his eye where you could see, oh, what can I annoy now? What can I do now? But he just had his heart. He didn't show it a whole lot, but he did it like in sly little ways. And then when you would acknowledge it, and that was so sweet of you. He loved his dogs. Well, our dogs, but the pets of the family kind of pick the human that they really kind of stick with, and he just did. Boy, he loved dogs. We always kind of joked as he was growing up. We could drop him off at a young age. We did not, but we could have dropped him off in a park that he's never been at before. Done one little lap around the park, come back, and he'd have every kid just following him. He just had this personality. Kids were just kind of drawn to him. He had a lot of friends. He loved sports. Football, forget it. Oh my gosh, that kid rocked it at football. Baseball, he got bored silly with baseball, which I get. But he I really kind of noticed stuff when my friend Tracy, who I shared before, died, and things just kind of changed. And, we all kind of changed a little bit. Death does that. But he was just a little bit more withdrawn. And so I always kind of kept asking him, I thought he and I had a great relationship, and he said it. He acknowledged it. I mean, we did. I think I did with all of my kids. Nothing is ever perfect. I was not a perfect mom. I was just kind of, winging it and just doing the best that I could, as we all do. But whenever Isaiah, all growing up, when he was upset or bothered by something, he would always go into my bedroom and he would lay on my bed, facing the bed. Because he wouldn't come and say, hey, Mom, I'm pissed about this, or hey, Mom, I'm sad about this, or whatever. It would just be laying on my bed, like his comfort zone. And so that's when I would go in, and he wouldn't look at me a lot of times, and he would just say what was bothering him so badly. And I just, I didn't push him. That's how he was at least saying something, and he was sharing it with me, and we would just sit in there and we would talk, and he never would look up. He had a hard time, but he did it. He would go and find that comfort zone on my bed and wait until I kind of found him. But yeah, things started to change, and he just started acting different. So I just kept at him and kept at him, and I didn't see any signs of anything. I didn't, he was still eating, he was sleeping okay, he was just different. Mom knew it was something, but I couldn't. So, I asked him and talked to him, and, I did everything I knew to do. But, you can't make him talk. I get it. And I got a phone call one night when he was in high school first year of high school, from a parent who had known him, all growing up. And this is a very good friend of mine, and she is the only one, one that's her kids had seen something, and she called me to tell me. And what she had told me was that her child had seen Isaiah selling some pot at a football game. And I said, what? No, what? You got to take that in for a second. What? So then I, of course, immediately drilled him, grounded him. I don't care. This stuff isn't made up until I find out what the truth is. You're grounded. You don't get to go anywhere. You don't get to do anything. One person, keep that in mind. One parent, one kid told his parent, one, that then came and told me. So things, went along, and I was watching him, and I was looking for signs, and I was looking in his dresser drawers and looking at all the places, being that mom, that making sure and double checking and trying to find everything. And as we all know, kids, if they want to do something, they're going to do it. They're going to find a way. And it didn't. But I was consumed by how his behavior was becoming. And he was still eating, he was still sleeping, he was still coming home, until one morning I woke up and he wasn't in his bed. He ran away and out of the house. So a few other things started happening, but he was still coming home. He was still talking to me. It was just, I couldn't pinpoint what it was, and I couldn't make him talk to me. And I wonder how many other people, and I'm sure there are people, this isn't a blame thing, but the reason for this initiative is what my experience was. I know there were other kids out there that knew what he was going through, what he was maybe doing, who he was hanging out with. They knew. And some may have talked to their parents about it, especially the ones that have known Isaiah his entire life. I can't imagine that they didn't, but not one other parent or person said anything to me. Not one. In all the people that I know, nobody said anything. Again, not blaming, but this is the point of why I need to do this initiative, and it's coming. Hold on. So fast forward to Thursday, the day before I found out that my son had taken his life, and I texted him, I had talked to him, and at this point, he had already had his son, who at that point was 4 months old. Isaiah had been coming over with the baby on Sunday breakfast, and he's like, Mom, I'm going to be such a great dad. And he really did a 180 and was doing really good things, and was working at a job, and was taking care of his son and coming over here and being involved. I mean, so it was like, okay, so we went through whatever rough patch craziness that was. But, right after my grandson was born, Isaiah he kind of just looked very scared. A lot. And I was like, kid, what's going on? What? No, Mom, just, it's okay. I can take care of it. And I'm like, well, you don't have to take care of it alone. We're here. And again, you can only do so much. He's 18 now. What can you do? Just keep inviting him over, keep being involved, keep contact. What can I do? Notice things, anything you can do. And he's like, no, Mom, I'll take care of it. It's all right. But he just always looked scared those last couple of months. Again, hindsight. I knew it then. I noticed it then, and that's why I questioned a lot. So Thursday, late afternoon, just said, hey, kid, love you. He had been over with his girlfriend, my grandson's mom. And I just said, love you. And, I hope that you, hope to see you this weekend. We'll do breakfast and da-da-da-da-da. I said, or, come over, we'll make dinner. Okay, Mom, I love you too. And that was the last text I got from him. I was at work the next day, and his girlfriend at the time, my grandson's mom, had been trying to call me and call me and call me and call me on my phone, and I had it on a charger, not paying attention to my phone while I was at work. But she had been calling and calling. So when I saw my phone and saw how many missed calls I was like, oh my gosh, what's wrong? And I called her, and she said, I have to tell you something. I was like, what? I said, are you guys okay? What's the matter? And she said, Isaiah's gone. I said, gone? Gone where? What do you mean gone? And at that point, I could feel every bit of my soul, my spirit, my blood, my everything just drain out of me. And I said, what do you mean he's gone? He's gone. And she's sobbing and hysterical through the phone. And I'm like, you're kidding me with that. I couldn't even process what she said. And she said, so-and-so that lives across the street, a 28-year-old man. Why was he with my son? So-and-so across the street brought Isaiah's car back to me, handed me the keys and said, Isaiah's gone. Why would a 28-year-old man be with my son? Why would a 28-year-old man be bringing my son's car back to where he was staying with his girlfriend and his son and hand the keys and tell her he's gone? How did he know that? Still a mystery. This will be a little emotional, a little bit of anger and probably tears, so I'm just preparing you right now. So I'm being told that he is gone, but he was down in Marion. What the hell is he down in Marion? I don't know what in the hell is going on. So I'm not going to sit around and wait. I called my now husband. I told my boss. My head was spinning. I didn't know what to even think, and my son is gone. What? So all I hear is Marion. So I called the Marion Police Department. I texted a few of my officer friends here in Fort Wayne. Somebody help me, but tell me this is not true. What the hell is going on? So I called down there. I want to speak to somebody. They put the chief on the phone for me. And it went back and forth. And by this point, my husband, Dave, he had come out and out to work. And because I couldn't breathe, I'm outside. Pure panic. And finally, the chief gets back to me and he says, how did you hear about this? I notified them that I knew. Nobody had notified me. Like when police will come and tell you, but no, I already knew because somebody dropped his car back off. So he then proceeds to tell me, the chief down there, that it was my son that they had and how very sorry he was. At that moment, I remember that day. It was bright blue skies. Sun was out, not a cloud in the sky. Stupid the things you remember. So, my grandson's mom, I'm trying not to use names because if you don't want to be involved, you don't want to be involved. And in this, Dave's driving me home and I'm going through so many things. My older son is overseas with the Marines. My daughter's at work. How do I call and tell my son, who's so far away, that his brother's gone? And I still didn't even know why. What do you mean? How did this happen? I got a phone call saying, please come and get the baby. Um, Nobody knew what was going on. It was just chaos. And yes, just here, we'll take the baby. And baby was brought over, and everybody was questioned when, about what the hell happened. I've got people in the house 5 hours after I find out about this asking why he was down there. I've got ATF in my house. I've got sheriff. I'm like, what in the hell is going on? I mean, I can't even process. By this point, people have been notified. I had to tell my son, who was alone so far away, this brother was gone. I had to tell his sister, who he was so close with, that he was gone. And Dave, God love him, he just kind of handled everything, because at this point, all this stuff is on social media, and the fucking news people are messaging me through Facebook asking if I would do an interview, and I'm like, that's it. I handed my phone to Dave. I can't take this. And after all the confusion, and everybody was called and everything, and I don't remember a lot of it, the in-betweens. There's a lot I don't remember, and I'm okay with that. This is bad enough. But what was worse was when I don't even remember how much time had passed, a day, 2 days, a week. I don't know. I don't know during that time. There were people that were over, and we were out on the back deck. They were over here just to love us and support us and help us and be with us. And Dave said, I have to tell you something. And you need to know this. And all these people that were sitting out on the deck, they all knew what he was about to tell me. That's why they were there. Thank you. He told me that my son and this person had gone down there because one of the kids not because, I'm going to say, there was a kid that had gone to high school up here that was now working down at this McDonald's. And I found out later that apparently this kid had said, it's easy to rob this place. Quick, easy money. That they had been robbed 1,000,000 times or whatever he said, I don't know. But that my son had gone in and he had a gun and he robbed the McDonald's. My son wasn't my son anymore. I don't. And while he was doing that, apparently, somebody hit whatever silent alarm. And it just so happened that some officers just were right around the corner, right there. Again, this is what I was told. And that there was a chase. And then my son took off running in whatever woods or whatever was behind there. I don't know. Don't know where that person was that had my son's car. Where was he? They let K-9 out to go chase after my son. And I was told that the dog got his leg. And that my son started shooting the gun that he had. And the dog ran off. And there were police just everywhere. And I don't know what my son's last thoughts were. But then he put the gun to his head and he took his life. This was not my son. This was not Isaiah. This was not the kid that would stand up for anybody and help them if they needed help. This was not the kid that was so proud to be a dad and was trying to... Oh, sorry. Um, I couldn't save my kid. I could tell he was going up and down with emotions for probably the year before. He was getting in trouble. I got him with counselors. I got him with police officers that I knew were friends, and he was close with them. He was happy to talk to them. I did everything, but he was just so sad a whole lot of the time. And I took him to Cal. I did everything I knew to do it. I failed him. I will always feel that way. And I know that there are people, and they're wonderful friends, who say no, who have gotten in my face and say, no, you did not. This is not your fault. Logically, I know that. But as a mom, I'm supposed to protect my kid. And for his brother and sister. That's all I remember that I was told about that night. That was more than enough. I don't want to know anymore. Not at least bad details. I don't want to know that. Isaiah was a very special spirit, and I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened. I think that he did, again, his choice. He chose, even though for whatever reason, he hung out with some people. He made the decision to smoke pot and do God knows what else. He made that decision, but I do think he got in over his head, because why is a 28-year-old man? Come on. I think that he got in over his head for something I'll never know. Well, I think I will someday. I think it's going to come back around. That truth will come out. I have to believe that. But I'll forever have the image in my head of my son's leg being bitten by a dog and laying in some dirt and then taking his life. So, with the Isaiah Initiative, the reason that I feel that we need to do this is because we have got to stop playing the stupid political crap. We have got to stop these kids from even being around these idiots that are now making us all stay in our homes because we're too scared to go outside. We're afraid to do this, we're afraid to do that because these flippin' idiots are taking over our streets and our kids. We have to start looking at the depression and the anxiety that is just rampant in kids these days. We've got to go back to some basic stuff. Get out of the phones and get out of the drama and the this and the this. And there is an answer. I know that there is. I know that there is. As soon as we can stop with the mine is bigger than yours, marking my territory, don't do this. No, this is about these children. So with the Isaiah Initiative, I'm putting plans. I'm writing things down as I'm brainstorming, because once I request things and really start getting it going, I'm not going to stop. I believe in this and I want it. But church leaders, if anybody out there is a church leader or close with their pastor or reverend or whatever their church leader is, I don't care if you're Catholic, I don't care if you're Lutheran, I don't care if you're a Baptist, I don't want any satanic worshipers, thank you, but no. Over here in this area, I have a whole quadrant, if you want to call it, that I have in mind. Oh, I'm so sorry, excuse me. I want to have a sit down with all of them first. We're all under Christ. We just, just be a Christian, be decent. I don't care. It is up to all of us to do this. Then talk to your parishioners and say, okay, what are we doing now? And we need to get that game plan. And I want the city council people, these ones that talk a good game and drive me nuts on the dang TV with the stupid ads incessantly during election time. I don't want to hear this talk anymore. I don't care about the businesses and the this and this and this. We have got to look at what is happening. Enough is enough. And you need to get involved with the community, because we have to go back to old school ways where you were able to sit out on your porch and wave at your neighbor. Where if you were being naughty in the neighborhood, that neighbor would check you and then bring your butt home. And then you'd get checked again. We have to have Sunday dinners. Life is crazy and we're all running. Yes, I know that. One night a week that your kids know consistently, and Sunday's my favorite, that you sit at the table, you turn off the TV, the phones are not even near the table, and you sit and you talk with each other. I don't care if you talk about the poop that you did that day, but that starts the conversation of routine and normalcy and safety. We need to start empowering these kids to say, Mom, Dad, or officer friend or teacher, so-and-so, this is what I saw. And they need to be able to feel safe about saying it without being worried that whoever they tell say, well, so-and-so told me. Really? No, this is why they don't do it. These kids are going to be our best weapon to help this, because they see it. They see it. This has got to stop. Once I get done with the church leaders and the city council, and I also want the mayor involved in this. This is an emergency for depression, anxiety. These kids, nobody feels safe. Kids are getting, an 8-year-old getting shot as he lays in his bed in his house. What? Stop this. These kids are running around here with guns and robbing, and not that, I'm telling you, this is not when they were 6, 7, 8 years old. They didn't say, boy, when I grow up, I want to be a murderer, a drug dealer. No. Make this stop. I also would like to get vets involved, our veterans. You know what? There's older ones, younger ones. My son, a couple of his buddies, they're veterans. You know, you got 20-year-olds, 30-year-olds, 40-year-olds, 50-year-olds, 60-year-olds, 70-year-olds, vets. And there's quite a few of them, especially our older ones, who have all this knowledge and want to help, and that could be great mentors. Include them in things. I want to find some places. I don't care if it's the church basements. I don't care if it's these old dilapidated buildings that are sitting around here. Fix them and give me a spot where these kids, like an extension of the Boys and Girls Club, which I have a meeting with somebody next week about that. Oh yeah. Where these kids can come and do trades that are throughout the community. Put Isaiah's initiative. This is a place where you could go. And there's a vet there or somebody there. You can learn a craft. You can get help with homework. Put it around. I don't care. We're a kid. If they're like, hey, something happened today at school and I don't know who to tell and I need some help. Fine, come over here. They don't need to know. We don't start stepping up and taking it back and talking. Start being a damn tattletale in your neighborhood. I did. I knew it was on the corner of my street where I used to live. I sat right out on my porch with my phone, staring right at him. Yeah, calling right now. Waited till a squad car pulled up in front of my house and went out and stared right at him. Boy, they didn't like that. I don't care. Stop letting them bully you. If we don't start taking this back, we are going to keep losing our kids. And these young men are going to be out there not knowing what the hell to do with life, not knowing, oh, gotta be a man. All these things that these boys go through, these pressure, the boys go through it too. These girls, we have to empower these girls, not to just go around having sex and having babies. Stop it. We have to do that. We're seeing the problem right now. We're gonna fix it. And it's gonna start at the base with, this is the city of churches, for God's sake. We've got churches that are sitting empty and old schools that are, we used to have 5 Catholic churches on this side of the town. What? There are a ton of churches. Get involved. I'm going to be asking for help. I'm going to be pushing for help, and I'm not letting this one go because I don't want another child to feel so sad or desperate or alone. As my son did, even though I tried everything and I still let him down. There are a lot of us out there as parents. My situation with bearing my child to suicide is a double hit. There's other parents out there that buried their child from drug overdoses. They knew that their kid wasn't doing great. And kid, it doesn't matter how old they are. But they didn't know how to help. We have to be a community. We have to start telling. We have to start seeing. It is going to take a village. And I'm not going to let this go. The Isaiah Initiative I will put in place. I will put in place because that kid would have helped anybody in a minute. And he loved life at one point. And he would have been a great dad. Those short 4 months, he was a good dad. He loved him so much. I know this was a long one, but I needed to get this out and explain why this Isaiah Initiative and why this change, it has to take place. I have to do something. I am going to be the change. Can't just talk about it. You got to come with a plan. Can't just bitch about it. You come with ideas. You come with a solution. That solution may not be perfect. That's why you brainstorm. with other people. You get other people involved. It could be your kid next. Could be your sister's kid, your brother's kid. Could be your grandchild. Make this stop. Help me do this. Share this on your page. I want this to go out there because there's so many parents who've buried children. They don't know how to talk about it. They don't know how to just be real and just say, this is what happened with my kid. All right. I'm going to go get myself together because I hear my grandbaby. He's waking up. Yeah, he's here. And his dad is proud of him. I know he is. Message me, like me. Please follow me, share me. Nobody's a stranger to me. I'm happy to help and talk with anybody, but I am counting on my village, and even the village I don't even know yet, to make this happen. This chaos is enough. It's enough with anxiety and depression and sadness and craziness. Messages from Mel. Try to enjoy your Saturday. It's pretty gross outside. Take care of each other. Talk to your kids. Push your kids. Tell your kids they can talk to me. I don't care. Be the change. Isaiah's initiative is important. Take care.